BitsBound is an agentic, AI-powered contract analysis platform that produces partner-level first draft redlines for full MSAs in about an hour, work that usually takes days. The point isn't to replace lawyers, it's to move the attorney's time to the part that actually matters: judgment, strategy, and the final 10%. Let's see how it works. In this demo, we are the customer, Augustus Incorporated. We'll sign in via Google OAuth, one click, and we're authenticated. Everything is secured with 256-bit encryption. After authentication, we land on the customer account dashboard. This is Command Central for Augustus Incorporated. At the top, we can see our credit balance, 77.3 million credits on the professional tier. BitsBound uses a simple credit system. You buy credits and you spend credits, no complicated token math. Below that, Portfolio Analytics gives us a bird's eye view across every analyzed contract. Now, let's take a quick look at our settings. The Settings panel gives us 4 sections: Profile, Security, Credits and Payment, and Playbooks. Under Security, we have two-factor authentication. If your organization requires it, and most enterprise legal departments do, you can enable TOTP-based two-factor authentication with any authenticator app. Scan the QR code, save your backup codes, verify once, and you're set. Now let's move on to credits and payments. The model is simple: buy credits, spend credits, no per-seat licensing, and no surprise fees. Every operation has a predictable cost, so you know what you're spending up front. Augustus is on the professional tier. If volume spikes, you upgrade. If it drops, you downgrade. Cancel anytime. Now let's look at Playbooks. This is where BitsBound starts getting really interesting. Every legal team has a playbook, whether it's a formal document or institutional knowledge that lives in people's heads. You upload it here, and BitsBound extracts the rules automatically: positions, red flags, fallback language, and talk tracks. Augustus has uploaded their custom playbook, and you can see what the system pulled out: 74 rules mapped to specific BUBSA sections. Under liability, for example, there's a must-have rule that caps exposure at 12 months fees or $10 million, and a strong rule to strike any sole and exclusive remedy clause. These aren't suggestions, they're non-negotiables that the autopilot agent enforces during the intelligent ping-pong phase. The talk track is especially useful. When BitsBound drafts your negotiation email, it uses the same language Augustus uses to frame liability with counterparties. Your rules take priority over the foundational playbook. The system doesn't replace your judgment, it encodes it. Now let's head back to the dashboard and run an actual analysis. Back on the dashboard, we click Analyze Contract to start a new analysis. This is the Caesar Cloud MSA, a cloud infrastructure deal for one of Augustus's portfolio companies. It's a $1.8 million first-year commitment with a potential 5-year value of $15 to $20 million. Caesar Cloud is known for aggressive contract terms, so this one needs a careful review. We upload the main agreement and any attachments, exhibits, schedules, SOWs. We tell the system we're representing the customer, so it knows which side we're on. We enter the deal value, so risk is framed in dollars, not abstractions, and we specify the industry for regulatory awareness. In the Playbook section, BitsBound automatically combines the foundational playbook with Augustus's custom rules, 215 rules total that will guide autopilot during negotiation. We can also add extra deal context, background on the parties, the exit timeline, and our alternatives, anything that sharpens the strategic picture. Then we hit Start Analysis, and the agentic pipeline takes over. You're looking at 6 phases running autonomously. Phase 1 loads your deal context in under a second. Phase 2 runs 13 deterministic scripts to extract hard data, dollar amounts, percentages, and durations. No AI guessing here, just pattern matching. Phase 3 is where AI enters. The system confirms who's the customer and who's the vendor, so it knows which side we're on. Phase 4 runs research. 8 analyzers work in parallel on Caesar Cloud's background, plus relevant litigation, contractual issues, and recent news. Phase 5 is the heavy lift. 18 specialized analyzers review the contract simultaneously: parties, definitions, IP, SLA, DPA, AI terms, warranties, indemnification, limitation of liability, and economic exposure, and more. Phase 6 synthesizes everything. It cross-references findings, flags clause interactions, calculates favorability, and builds a negotiation strategy. Total time is about 10 minutes. And here's what emerges. The overview shows a favorability score of 2 out of 10. This contract is brutal for our client. The overview gives you the bottom line: a favorability score from 1 to 10, an executive summary, and the top risks ranked by severity. This is where you start. Foundation analyzers handle the basics: who the parties are, what the defined terms mean, the IP license scope, and the commercial terms. Compliance analyzers check regulatory exposure, SLA commitments, data protection obligations, and AI-specific terms. These get flagged critical when they create legal risk. Risk analyzers assess financial exposure, warranties, indemnification, liability caps, economic exposure, and scenario stress testing for worst-case outcomes. Synthesis analyzers connect the dots: missing sections, how clauses interact, negotiation strategy, and a mind map visualization showing the contract structure and risk hotspots. Those are the analyses. Click any tab to dive deeper. Now, those analyses are extremely important for another reason: the Supreme AI Co-Counsel, or SAC. This is Brain A in our intelligent ping pong and your go-to AI assistant throughout the editing and negotiation process. Brain A has a 1 million token context window, full access to the contract, and most importantly, all of the information from those 18 analyses. So when you ask SAC a question, it's not starting from scratch. It already knows the parties, the defined terms, the liability structure, the SLA gaps, the GDPR violations, the economic exposure. Everything the analyzers found is already loaded into context. You can ask it anything, and that's just the beginning. Let's check it out. I'll ask it a simple question: what's the biggest risk in this contract? SAC doesn't give a generic answer. It pulls from everything the analyzers found and flags Article 14.2a, the perpetual AI training license, as the #1 priority. And look at the depth here. SAC quotes what the clause actually says, translates it into plain English, and explains why it's catastrophic. It's permanent and irrevocable. It creates GDPR exposure. It can leak competitive intelligence. There's no meaningful anonymization guarantee. And it's paired with broad liability immunity for AI services. Then SAC quantifies the downside. GDPR fines can reach into the millions. Competitive harm can easily exceed $5 million. Reputational damage is harder to price, but it's real. It also explains why this risk dwarfs everything else. An early termination fee is negotiable. A liability cap limits recovery, but it doesn't create new obligations. This clause is different. A perpetual training license creates ongoing, compounding exposure that gets worse over time. Before we see what SAC can really do, let's pause for the live document viewer, which you can toggle open at any time. This is your actual contract, rendered in real time. You can drag it, drop it, and resize it anywhere on the screen. This isn't a PDF preview or a static image. It's the live Word document, fully interactive. You can scroll through it and read the original language. Let's put it to work right now by asking SAC to do something AI assistants couldn't do until now: generate a real redline for the Article 14.2, a provision it just flagged. When SAC generates the redline, you see it happen live, right here in the document. Insertions appear in green, deletions show in red with strike-through, and each change includes a supporting comment you can view on hover. This matters because you're not working blind. You're not generating edits into a black box and hoping they look right when you download. You watch every change the moment it's made, in context, exactly as it will appear when you open the file in Word. Now here's where it gets powerful. I'm going to ask SAC whether this indemnification provision is problematic. But the key is we don't have to sit idle while SAC works through its assessment. Instead, we open a new SAC tab, Session B, color-coded orange, and we ask whether we should push back on consequential damages. Session B responds first. It explains why the data loss exclusion is especially dangerous for a data analytics company, and it recommends a targeted carve-out. I authorize the red lines, and then I check back in on Session A. Session A comes back with the indemnification analysis. It flags the clause as a trap, explains how it can create open-ended exposure for things Caesar Cloud controls, and lays out 3 options to fix it. I authorize those red lines as well. Both sessions execute their edits in parallel, and both sessions feed into the same document. Look at the live viewer, 12% changed, version 5. All the red lines from both sessions combined with supporting comments. Session A generated 10 changes. Session B added 4 more. This is how you move fast. Instead of working through issues one at a time, you can run multiple focused conversations in parallel, each grounded in the analysis and each contributing directly to the final redlined document. Now let's take it even further. Remember, SAC is Brain A, loaded with all 18 analyzer outputs. Autopilot is Brain B. It also has a 1 million token context window, but instead of analyses, it's loaded with your firm's playbook rules and your pre-approved clause library. You control how hard Autopilot pushes with a simple slider from 1 to 10. 1 is collaborative and relationship preserving. 10 is maximally protective, pushing every position to your advantage. And because each Autopilot session runs independently, you can launch multiple sessions in parallel, each focused on a different part of the agreement. Watch as we spin up 4 Autopilot agents at the same time. Together, Brain A and Brain B form what we call the intelligent ping-pong. They volley back and forth, clause by clause, until they converge on final redline positions that satisfy both the risk analysis and your firm's policies. Session A is tackling the preamble and definitions. Session B is handling IP and commercial terms. Session C is working through data privacy and support. And Session D is processing term and termination. This is parallelized autonomous redlining at scale. And here's the result. Look at the live document viewer. 10 provisions redlined, each with a supporting comment explaining the rationale. We have 18 insertions, 16 deletions, and 15% of the agreement changed. These are real OOXML track changes, not highlights or annotations, and every single edit can be undone or redone with one click. You stay in complete control while the AI does the heavy lifting. Want to see the proof for yourself? Here's the final end product. Just download the Word document and open it in Microsoft Word. You'll see the exact same track changes and margin comments you watched live in the viewer, fully native, fully reviewable, and ready to accept or reject. It's ready to send internally to the client or straight to the counterparty. Feel like we're missing something? An email to go along with that beautiful Word document? Just hop back into BitsBound, open up the email generator, and type in who you want the email to go to. BitsBound handles the rest. It pulls from the full contract context and every revision you made to generate a professional negotiation email that explains your positions, justifies your changes, and sets the right tone for the conversation. Attach the red line, hit send, and you're done. What you just watched is what happens when a lawyer learns to code and then builds the system the profession has always needed. This is BitsBound, agentic contract analysis, automated redlining, and legal AI enablement for modern legal teams.